So I was kind of inspired by MILSURPWRITER, Mike, to try something new. I don't do this very often, but I was listening to some other shows over the weekend and this morning, and even What the Frock yesterday. And I thought we made it clear, but maybe we didn't. I don't know. We weren't really talking so much about Justice or Judge Brown Jackson's answer as we were talking about the memes about it. Maybe that wasn't clear, I don't know, but I thought it was. But then again, I had somebody yelling at me about the flashback on Friday. He was mad because, quote, we didn't know nothing about the comic books. And I thought to myself, this was pretty clear that we were talking about a 1970s television show, but, you know, maybe it was, I guess it was based on a comic book, but it's not what we were talking about. We were talking about Linda Carter and the Wonder Woman of the 1970s, which was a great show. That aside, the problem with Judge Brown Jackson's answer isn't her flippant response about "I'm not a biologist." That doesn't even matter, folks. In the big scheme of things, that was a throwaway line, but it's become the total focus of conservatism right now. Oh, they can't define a woman. Oh, this is ridiculous. And of course, the memes grew out of that. And I'm okay with that. I don't have a problem with the memes, but holy crap, folks. Did we not listen to the whole conversation? The initial question asked by the senator was, reading Justice Ginsburg's writing for the majority and her dissertation about the differences between men and women and the fact that there are immutable differences between men and women. And the question was, Judge Brown Jackson, do you agree with Justice Ginsburg? Now, I want you to think about this in a broader term. This is a Supreme Court nominee confirmation hearing. Theoretically, this judge has been chosen because she is prepared, educated, and briefed on everything that could possibly come up in this hearing. We have a case that Justice Ginsburg wrote the majority opinion for, which says that men and women are immutably different. And this case deals with one of the touchstone issues of our nation today. If you took out Ukraine and inflation, you would have to say that this whole trans thing is one of the touchstone issues. It's a hot button issue today in our country. If you were going to be a Supreme Court nominee, wouldn't you make sure that you at least have some passing familiarity with every case involving transgenderism in the country before you sat down in front of the United States Senate judicial hearing and said, quote, I'm not familiar with that case? I'm blown away by that. The idea that a Supreme Court nominee would say, I'm not familiar with a case that is a touchstone of the most, well, maybe not the most, but certainly one of the most hot issues in our nation today, says more to me about that nominee than her answer about not being a biologist did. Her answer about not being a biologist was a flippant throwaway response in the middle of a ludicrous argument with a senator who was just trying to make, the evening news. These hearings are a waste of time. They're a joke. I'll say that point blank. But reality is that this judge who wants to be a justice has no familiarity with a case that should have been one of the top 10 cases that she should have been briefed on, studied, before she ever walked into that chamber. And yet, when the question came, do you agree with Justice Ginsburg that there are immutable differences between men and women? Her answer was not, no, I don't agree with her. Yes, I do agree with her. I'm not sure if I agree with her. I'd have to consider things. I would want to revisit the case. Her answer was, I don't know what you're talking about. And that, my friends, is the real problem with Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's answer. It isn't that she's not a biologist. I'm questioning whether or not she's even a judge.